What's going on, y'all? Long time no speak. Well, it's been a while since the King Speak series has been here, and I was just feeling it was time to do a little catching up with the Kings. So I had to reach in the archive to all of the men in my life that I feel like day in, day out are very exemplary of King level behavior on all levels. So I'm so excited to have this fun conversation and catch up with the Kings. And our guest today is Cyrus Ausar. Let's go. Okay, by now I see a few of you in here. Thank you for joining. You know the drill. Share this with a friend if you want to have a good conversation. If you're tired of hearing all of the stuff that we see on the internet and you want to have some healthy conversation with some people who have a little bit of sanity, like here we go. So let me bring him to the set. What's up, Cyrus?
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I miss you, friend.
It's been a long time.
It really has. What has it been like? Has it been 2 years or 3 years?
3. I mean, I've been in Ohio for 2, so it had to be 3.
Yeah, we talked. I was doing this mostly 2020. I did do some King Speak after in 2021. So, but somewhere around there. Oh my God, it's just been a while. How have you been? I'm so proud of you. I've been seeing everything that you got going on. So why don't we start by just kind of telling people like who you are and what you do?
Oh man, which
I know. Well, first of all, I will say, so I know you're a speaker and an author, but I love this Greatness Cafe because this is something that you opened 4 years ago, correct?
2 years.
2. Okay, I thought it was 4. But like, it's blowing up. I see that you're getting donations from across the world. So just tell us a little bit about Greatness Cafe, how that started and what that's looking like right now.
Well, Greatness Cafe is a mental health cafe. It has started when I was trying to figure out. I mean, the idea started about 7 years ago when I was trying to figure out ways to perfect myself, even the things that we all go through on a daily basis. And been working with the Boys and Girls Club since I've been 13. And it really started from me taking out the time to, like I had to raise my little brother. So in the Boys and Girls Club, they divide you up into different groups. So and when they was dividing us up, I was trying to figure out ways to spend time with my little brother. So I ended up getting my peers to read to kindergartners. So I never knew this was a program. And then with that, I started hearing about molestation and I started hearing about abuse. I started hearing about all those things. And that became a mission in life. Fast forwarding it to the mental health cafe, Greatness Cafe. I knew I wanted to have something in the community, but I didn't want to have a community center because that's always about asking somebody for money. So I was like, what could I put as a backbone from a financial standpoint to not only stay open as a business, but also be able to facilitate programming. And that's how mental health cafe came to play. So it was about giving people the proper foods, proper beverages. Like a lot of people don't even know how much water they should drink. They don't know what minerals they need to have, or when mineral deficiencies happen, how it can affect your mind. Just all those different things. And I was like, how can I pull all that together on my programs? I've written 5 books. I've traveled. I mean, I just got all this wealth of information. And how can I pull that into the food? And that's how it was spawned the idea of a mental health cafe. So yeah.
Dang, that is so amazing. Like I do, even though we don't talk often, I do keep up with your stuff and I look at everything and I'm always like, how is he able to like do all this? It's like you really get it done and you're really serving the community. And like you said, you've written 5 books. You have such a wealth of knowledge and the way that you pulled it together to help people. It really is. I see the compliments. I see, when you're speaking and just people that appreciate genuinely what you put together. And that's so dope. It's
Trying
so
my best.
dope.
I mean, I just feel like I'm carrying out what I'm supposed to do. So I don't question or overthink or second guess myself on anything. And I don't think there's nothing more powerful than a made up mind. So when you decide you're gonna do something, you will do it. It's just how serious and how meaningful is that thing that you say you're gonna do. If you say I want to lose 10 pounds, if you're serious, you will do it. And if you have a meaning behind it that means a little bit more than vanity, then you'll do it. So for me, it's about how can I not only be the best version of myself, but how can I also help others win those battles that they've been silently fighting? You know, that battle that you go to sleep on the pillow with, that one where you questioning your life and all those. I want to help people win those battles. So the question becomes, what's the playing field to even help them fight it? So then it becomes a mental health and wellness center. I mean, I'm speaking ahead. I got a wellness center as well, but I didn't mean to pull that out right now, but it's okay. But
Exclusive content. No.
yeah, mental health and wellness center,
Hmm.
and that has zero gravity massage chairs. It has one-on-one therapy session. It has just a little bit of oxygen bar. It has a little bit of everything. And the thing is, a lot of it is for free, especially for people
Wow.
that look like, especially for people that look like us,
Hmm.
because therapy is a stigma that a lot of people don't want to get. They
Hmm.
just want to go to their homegirl or homeboy, and that that don't work.
It don't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. No, I love that with the facilitation. And, I'm kind of in the same boat with that. I actually started life coaching
Hmm.
and it's been going amazing because I felt like you, in a sense, like I have all this knowledge and I really, you know, my purpose was one thing at one point, but now I was just telling a friend of mine, it's generosity. How can I put myself in a space to be generous with what I know? I just felt the urge like, I can't sit on this stuff. There's only so much journaling and reading. I need to create an atmosphere or a platform to be able to share to change lives. And it's working and it feels so good. It's a blessing. I've always been able to do different things like connecting people and, you know, I was doing events and hosting, and I actually haven't done any of that since 2020. But still bringing people together and all that, it still means something to me. But now it's just taking the knowledge I have and using it in a different space. So I think that that's amazing. I'm all about the wellness, the health. I really actually do want to come down to your cafe and your facility. I'm trying to get an oxygen bar and the chair.
Yeah. The door is always open. I tell everybody the same thing. The door is always open. Anytime somebody want to come, it's open.
Yeah,
Uh,
say less. I'm coming through. So let me ask you, because just a conversation with you will be enough to bless the people. But um, you talked about wanting to create a space to be able to help people and having the willpower. You made up your mind to do certain things. What do you feel like are some obstacles or an obstacle that stops people from doing the thing that they think they want to do so badly and feel like they should, but they come up against certain obstacles? What do you think some of those things are and
the
how they
biggest
can overcome? Yeah.
the biggest obstacle for people is themselves. A lot of people won't get out their own way. They get to start second guessing, they get to start questioning things. And I learned this: you can't have fear and God at the same time. You can't, it's fighting for the same space. And then you get overthinking, you get all these different thoughts to trick you. But I learned this: regardless of what you ask for, what you pray for, you got to make space to receive it. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do want that company, what space are you creating to receive it? If you do want that wife or husband, what space are you creating to receive it? If you, no matter what it is, what space are you creating to receive it? And how serious are you about it? Is it that you say you want it because social media influenced you to get it, or is it because it really means something to you? So you have to ask yourself those whys as well. And when you make up your mind and say, this is what I'm going to do, and you really serious about it, then you got to get out your own way, because you're going to have past traumas that's going to stop you. You're going to have friends that's going to have subtle things that try and stop you. You're going to have so much opposition, because no matter what you ask for, you'll be tested to see if you truly want it. You're going to wake up when you say, you know what, I'm really about to get in shape. You're going to wake up Monday with a headache.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, you know what, Tuesday, I'm really getting on it. It's like no matter what, it's always gonna be something, but you have to push through it and you have to be consistent and serious about what you claim that you want. Once again, you got to make the space for it. You can't pray and then leave and don't put no action behind it. So and this time goes fast. So, as fast as we 30 is as fast as we gonna be 60. We were just graduating from high school yesterday. So how
Yesterday.
when you look at COVID, it's like, dang, that was 3 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think people need to get out their own way, because I learned that everybody, and this sounds so cliche, but it's true. Everybody really do have greatness in them. They just get too caught up in the distractions,
Hmm.
whether
Hmm.
it be social media, whether it be self-doubt, whether it be all these different variables to stop them from exploring who they truly are. And that's a problem. So that's the main thing that I think is slowing people up, is themselves getting, they get in their own way.
Yeah, no, it definitely is that. That's like the number one thing. And you're right with the distractions. I'm seeing that now, and it's getting louder and louder and louder. Because like people like us, we didn't grow up in high school and all this stuff with social media and whatever. And I can imagine what it would be. But I just look at things and the way it's evolving so quickly. Because I don't even think I feel like I remember starting my Instagram account. It was barely like 2012. Like I remember those times. It wasn't that long ago, and now we've got AI and all of this stuff going on. And I just feel like there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of distractions, and a lot of this stuff is designed. It's really
Mhm.
easy to keep us away from the things that we say we want to do. And I just I want people to understand that and have the fortitude and the mindset to stay out of their own way and kind of use the entertainment for what it is entertainment, but don't let it deter you from your dreams, your goals, and what you know is in your soul to do.
I always tell people this, like, you got to understand that these things are tools. That's it. They're tools for you to have or get to the destination and where you want to get to. So even when I tell somebody about social media, I'm like, why don't you just create the social media in the world of what you want? If you want to be an architect, then just follow architectural pages, follow design pages. So no matter what, every time you look at something, it's an influence in the direction that you want to go. Why do you need to watch this? Whatever it may be, positive or negative, because then that's what puts you into the rabbit hole where you
Yeah.
on somebody's page that you don't even care. You on somebody's page you ain't even attracted to. You're
How
like,
did you
why am
get
I
here?
looking at this person? You know what I mean? So and you realize that's time you can't get back. So you realize that it's a tool, and then you recognize the nature of it. When you look at a lot of big time celebrities, you ever notice that their full body is in the shot, meaning they're not holding the camera.
Right.
It's somebody else doing it for them. So
Right.
they're not even on social media to that degree of what you think they are. So it's like, it's just all those things. You want to stay out your own way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I love it. It is the best advice. Makes sense because I still have to tell myself to do that all the time. And it's a recurring thing, but if you know that about yourself, you can overcome and you can push past the barriers that you set up for yourself. But you definitely have to know who you are and what those barriers and triggers are that keep you from,
Yeah.
like you said, the headache when you don't want to wake up. It's gonna always be something, but what you're gonna do about it? Because this time
Oh,
is flying.
you know what's funny? Like when you sick, you think about all the things you would do if you was healthy. And then when you're healthy, you still don't do it. And then when you get
Mm-mm.
in, you be like, man, or your leg hurting, or no matter what pain, or no matter what ailment or anything you going through, you wish to be fully healed for a reason of something you're not doing when you are fully healed.
Yeah.
So you take advantage of not only the now, but even when you in pain, you just got to keep going because it's always gonna be something.
Exactly. I think about that with myself because I do work out consistently, and you do got to do it. For me, I have to do it consistently enough to love it, and I'm not going to skip it. But when you want to stay in the bed, or when I want to stay in the bed, I think about that. I'm like, girl, you can use your legs. You
Hmm.
are young. You are agile. Like I don't want X amount of years to go by and I'm not as agile, and I'm gonna look back at this time and be like, I should have got up, and we're not doing that. I don't want to live with that kind of regret because you're right. It's like, oh, I'm so tired, but like, no, you can move, you can work, your body works. Like, go celebrate that in the gym.
Period. Because this
Period.
time, we ain't getting it back.
No, and it's going fast. Like, I can't even believe it. Um, so you did mention 2020. How have things changed for you since 2020? I mean, it's not a lot, but what does that journey
I
look
mean,
like for you?
oh my God. Oh, I, I mean, it's gonna sound like I'm gloating, but I know this is for your audience and they don't know me. I mean, I opened the mental health and wellness center, opened mental health cafe, created a supplement line. I've been able to get black businesses grants over $80,000, which I had a huge line behind that. Right now, I'm having a meeting at the Hall of Fame. Like, look, I'll show you real quick Pro Football,
Wow.
the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Dope.
I just I came out here for you. I I stopped that, to come out here, but uh, I mean, obviously, I've been traveling, speaking at different colleges. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been a whole lot. But the main thing has been just helping other people, helping businesses, and staying pure to myself, staying true to who Cyrus is. So, man, I don't know what to say. It's been a
No,
whole lot.
that's amazing. Do you think like the shift in 20, no, I know it didn't have anything do you think it partially played a part? Did it make more space for you? Because you've been at all of this like forever. So even if it did, you've already created a platform to catapult you where you're at now. But do you feel like 2020 and the way things shifted kind of opened things up for you at all? Or did it shift or change anything for your business that catapulted you to where you are now?
Well, it just helps. It makes you make adjustments. Because
Mm,
prior, I had the Yomo event when I had the 25,000 kids when I was
mm-hmm,
teaching them about STEM, but now you can't have the kids. So you got
mm,
So now it was more about, you know what, I'm gonna write a work, I'm gonna do a workbook. I gotta figure out ways to reach them. Then remember I was doing interviews, but nobody want to come to your house. It's a lot of things that you just gotta shift and ask yourself, what's the long term objective? So I really started looking at life different. I'm about to give some real gems, right? I started looking at life different. It started becoming like, what's your ideal life? Like if you can wake up and you can do whatever you wanted. For me, it's like, okay, if I can wake up, I like to work out. I like to go get a smoothie. I like to talk to my friends. I like to go get a massage. I like to, just map out your whole idea of a great day. And if you had that perfect day, you can live the rest of your life on autopilot. The second question become, how do you own everything within that perfect day? So now I own a cafe, I own a wellness center, I own a supplement company, I own everything that's tied to any type of lifestyle that I want. So now it's no work. It's just literally me choosing to do whatever I feel like doing whenever I feel like doing it. And you know what happens with that? It depletes your stress. So when you got way less stress, it clears up your mind to be able to think of ideas. So right now, I'm about to be buying out the bowling alley for November. I'm telling you ideas of what's coming, although I
mm-hmm.
haven't made these announcements. November 10th, November 11th, I'm gonna be buying out the bowling alley, and it's 36 lanes, and they're allowing 200 people. So what am I doing now? I'm doing a wraparound, so it's gonna be free bowling for everybody, the whole community. But I'm allowing all the foster care kids and all those programs to get lanes. Then I'm also putting all the organizations that provide resources to kids, and you split in the lanes up. So now you got this foster care wraparound program here, and they got these lanes. Then you got this program that helps it. Then you have these mental health outlets that help this. Then you have these facilitators. Then you got the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, the Parks and Rec. You got all, and I'm bringing all that together. Then I'm having a release circle, meaning I got friends that's a priest in Ifa. I got Catholic priests as friends. I got Christian ministers. I got all these people that's friends, and usually it's a lot of division amongst it because we're competing for the same group of people for our congregation to be bigger. But what I'm doing is I'm creating this huge circle where people, it's like a release for all the people we lost over the years. So if you ever lost somebody, we're gonna have this big circle, and then I'm having all these leaders, spiritual leaders, to pray for or communicate with those who have lost somebody. So just
Oh,
this is the event. So now from that time to that time, anybody that want to experience or have an understanding of what they lost and how to deal with it, from counselors to ministers to priests, they're all gonna be there, and it's free. After that, then we got the ability to bowl, and you got the wraparound, you got the kids, you got the food, the food trucks, all this stuff is free. I'm taking care of everything. But that's how you unify. And then once you unify, you're able to deliver a message. Now, how can that come if I got so much stress? You don't think about how you gonna help the community. You think about how you gonna get yourself out of these predicaments, which is rightfully so within the thought process. But you have to go back to the basic fundamentals. What is it that I do like to do? How can I be one with self, and how can I put that in a position of not only a lifestyle, but something that I can potentially financially gain off of it.
No, I love the mentality so much. It's so spot on. So, I find, how do other men approach you about getting assistance for that kind of oneness that you just described? Like, I don't feel like, and I don't feel like a lot of men understand how possible it is for them to not live hectic and stressed and carry all the things on their shoulders. Like, how you get that mantra in your mind, like being busy equals being productive. And, it makes the load look heavier than it needs to be. How do you feel like, I guess it's a two-part question. How do you feel like men kind of ask for help in these areas? And do you feel like they're what do you think could be the available understanding for men to understand that they could live on this level without all of the chaos?
Well, that's a loaded question. I love it
Yeah.
because I'm about to answer it. What I learned about a lot of men that cannot, based on my sessions, based on my 20 years experience, etc., is typically a lot of deep trauma that they have yet to deal. And if you don't deal with that trauma, then you typically walk through life skipping accountability. So everything becomes everyone else's fault. They can say, well, my mom didn't do this when I was 8 or 9 or 10. If it wasn't for my father not doing this, then, it's all those things. And it may be true, but it do come to a point where you have to accept accountability. He wasn't there. Okay. I get it. And I can't say it that fast. So forgive me for making it seem like they can just get over it like that. I'm just using this point quickly. But you have all these past traumas, whether it's abuse or whether it's something that has happened that they have yet to get over, but yet you still have to maintain life. You still have to work your job, and then you're going to date, then you're going to be with this woman. And as we've seen, a lot of women just become those therapists unwillingly. You just become that person where a man dumps everything off on y'all. And then, y'all strong women that want to make sure a man is doing better. So y'all receive it. But then there's no leadership. So there's no guidance because this man just keep dumping everything you receiving that. And then you like, where we going? We ain't going nowhere because he still ain't dealt with what was in the past. So what I believe that men, well, and I've had this happen with men, not even men and women, but for the sake of this King series, what they have to do is be okay with what has happened, regardless. My mother was on drugs. My father sold drugs. All these different things. I went through a whole lot, but I'm thankful for them in life. I'm thankful for the things that my mom has done. Although I did get lost to her in the system and all those things, I'm still thankful because I got a great understanding of what happened in her life that drove her to that point. And once you start getting that, you start becoming complete within self. So go back and clean up all those things that it's hard. I'm not going to act like it's a walk in the park, but it's not just about you. It's about the legacy you're going to build beyond you. So you want your children or you want the people that come behind you to have a better life than you, but you will subconsciously become that same person you disliked. You'll become that if you don't clean up your mess. And then you see the same cycle continues again and again. So if I talk about men and how they can be better or be one with self, going back, cleaning up those traumas, don't run from it. Talk to a counselor. Talk to somebody that can walk you through how to break down these issues. Your homeboy tell you to do this, that, and the third. Somebody that's trained in these areas so they can walk you through and give you some real solutions. It's cool to talk to your girl about it. It's cool, but she don't know how to walk you through it. Nor do she really want to for the most part. I hate to say that.
I
You don't,
mean,
I know from my understanding, they really be liking some leadership and but that's a whole nother conversation that we
yeah,
ain't.
it's necessary.
But yeah, so it's just really really seek some professional assistance to get you out of that hole. Because once you get out of this hole, then you can start looking at things a little bit more clear.
Yeah, and everything you said, I mean, it makes perfect sense, and it all goes together because even you bringing up the leadership and the dating and this, all of these things fall and they don't work, and you become more distracted with trying to keep all this stuff together, mostly because people never go back and do that work. And I'm glad you brought up, because that's what I was going to ask. Well, how do they do it? And it is counselors. And I do feel like there's like a stigma on therapy, but counseling sounds good. I mean, besides that, what, self-help books? I'm wondering where people can genuinely start so they can put the excuses down and maybe head towards therapy. Are you finding that people, as men particularly, are resistant to therapy? Like, where are they going to enlist this help? Like,
I noticed this. I wouldn't say any man is resist. I haven't met anybody that has been resistant to therapy.
okay.
I met people that's more, how can I say, they feel like they don't have, their issue isn't as big as it is. You
Oh,
get
okay.
more or less like, no, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm cool. Like, yeah, yeah, what happened? No, bro, you never addressed it. You never dealt with the issue. You ran from it. And sometimes you got to sit in it, and that can be difficult because you might have to process the death of your father, the death of your mother, whatever it may be, whatever the trauma is something you got to sit in, and you got to come with. I mean, get to peace with it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well said. I can't imagine living life without that. And, even for me, I've always done the self work and been into it, read a lot. I have gone to therapy. I've had, life coaches and mentors and people to help. But I could definitely say that 2020, that slowdown that we got from not running around and doing so much and living life in a particular way, definitely gave me space to even get more aligned myself and kind of realize, oh my gosh, like, you haven't had time to address or look at any of this. And it's probably the second time in my life that that's happened. When me and my ex-fiance broke up, it was also one of those things because um talking and therapy and all of these things, it wasn't so much a conversation when I was coming up. So I went walking around doing the most for like 8 years, and I really didn't realize how unhealed I was and how many decisions I was making from a broken place. So, I
Mhm.
mean, you're right. The only way to start is with self accountability and to look at your stuff.
Yeah, and that's where it gets real, real deep.
It's hard.
You have certain outlets that will remove you having accountability because it generates finances for them. So it start getting real, real tricky and deep. But what I will say is this: you have to internally reflect, and you got to stand on your morals and your principles. Like for real. Like there's certain things we know we should not be doing, and we may not have the discipline. We all have our vices, but it's like you have to like really be for real about how you gonna better yourself because it's deeper than you. It's who follows you and everything.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And, for you, how did you get there? Because I was watching one of your videos and you kind of talked about it. Like, you did go through a stage and a period, and rightfully so, because I feel like men are raised with the don't cry, don't show emotions, you acting like a weenie, all of this stuff. But it gets messed up, and now men don't speak, they don't open up, and they're learning how to do that. So, how did you go from being somebody who had a tendency to be a little closed off to, you know, someone that was willing to turn it around?
Well, when I was trying to find myself, I did this thing where I studied great men for a week, and
Mm,
I at absolutely everything that they've done. Whether I looked at Kwame Ture, and I looked at absolutely everything he did, his books that he wrote. I mean, the books that he's read, the interviews he's done. Then I might look at Muhammad Ali. Then I might look at whoever else. You get the point. And I was really trying to look at the commonalities amongst these great men, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and I just was going through all these different, really trying to understand what was the commonalities amongst them and what things that I share, what
mhm.
things that I have, and what principles that I have that didn't align, and how wasn't I being solid as a person. So I really started studying myself from all angles, from what am I putting in my body, what food am I consuming, what am I ingesting, not just food wise, but what am I listening to? Because what music is music is an affirmation. So it's something that's whispering in your ear. When you got headphones on, that's intimate. That's something that's telling you something in your ear at whatever level you set the sound at, and it's continuous. That's why we can feel it. Where we going through something sad, we'll put one song going and really put ourselves in it for
Just
repeat, 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 repeat. Same
yeah,
thing with that song or whatever, because it's an energy. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so many things I can say. Every time we talk, I try and figure out a way to take all this information and put it in, like make it succinct, but it can be challenging.
Yeah, no, you're doing a good job. You always do. I actually went back not too long ago and watched some of our conversations. I'm like, dang, this is good. And I want more people to hear and get into it. I'll probably cut some clips because it's really good. You're good at what you do. I really try on this platform. I don't like to throw around words too much. If I'm really like, this is King Speak, I don't want to have just some guy that's willing to come talk. To me, you really exemplify what a king level man is, because I don't feel like, you know, not everybody lives on this level. I was telling a friend of mine, she was dating someone that she was misaligned with, and as she grows, she's starting to see it. And she felt bad because she was like, I don't want to say like I'm better than him, but sure, we all have our value, the women and humility. We all have our value. God loves us all. But I'm like, girl, you do the work. And I had another, someone on King Speak who talked about that. It's like, he was bold with it. He's like, no, I'm better than you. If I'm doing this, and this to be where I need to be, then it does. It makes me better. And I think it's not in a way that puts down anyone else's existence, but doing the work is hard. Being in alignment with yourself is challenging. Going for what you feel in your heart and actually executing is hard, and not everybody does it, but you do. So I mean,
I try my best. I don't know about the better than, because
I
then
hear you.
I don't know what the base of measurement is.
Mm-hmm.
Like according to who type thing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not speaking on that person because I don't like to believe that I'm better than anybody. I think we all have struggles. We all have our ups and downs. We have moments where we can all learn from one another, because
Mm-hmm.
it's that, like when I was homeless, I was in my car,
Mm-hmm.
but I can also say I was better than the one that was sleeping on the bench. You know what I mean? And he can say he's better than the one that's sleeping on the ground. But that will only mean that the value system is where we're sleeping. You get
Right.
what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just all those different things. So even for me to say, not to harp on that particular person, it's just
Yeah.
something that somebody has to still overcome, or something that they still have to deal with if they got to convince themselves that they better than somebody, opposed to understanding that we all going through something and that we got to overcome one issue at a time.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think I can see both sides of this thing, and I get it. I think maybe self-investment wise is the barometer, but whatever. It's not about being better than someone anyway. It's just, I admire people who show up and do the work, and who are willing to go through hard things, because, a lot of people, not everybody has the fortitude to do so. And a lot of destructive things happen around those types of things. I mean, we all go through stuff. None of us are perfect. We all have misaligned moments, but
Hmm.
it's really special, I think, when people put in the effort. I think it's worth recognizing. I think it makes life full and whole, and it's dope. Sometimes it's a little different, to really go the distance.
I think it's amazing when people recognize their issues and they're trying to put forth effort to be better. And that's really where I leave it at, because I look at people that I've seen grow up, and like I said, all the studying that I've done. When you look at where people have started to where they end up, and the path is always rocky, it's always tricky, and it's times that you feel like quitting. It's people that actually killed themselves
Yeah.
because they figure it out. So it's just all those different variables that's going on. So if you're one of those people that's fighting that good fight, and you being better than you were yesterday, and you only measuring yourself up against yourself, how can I improve every day? How can I be a little bit better than I was yesterday? And you're doing it. I tip my hat off to you, because I know it's a long road. You know,
It is.
comparison
What are some of Hmm?
Compare the comparison is the thief of joy.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. Big time. And you know, especially because just to add another layer on that, when we're comparing, I just feel like part of what creates that thief of joy is it's taking us off our path. Like if God puts something in you or you feel designed to do something or you have a particular passion, part of the joy killer is the fact that you're comparing to somebody else who does not have the same assignment as you. So your soul is like, hello, like over here, like, we don't want that. And, you know, it creates this detour that I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in, especially in this day and age when you're looking at this person and you're like, well, I want that dollar amount or that look or this thing, you know, not knowing the route it took to get there and not being authentically aligned with who you are and taking your personal action steps. Um,
I think
so I completely agree.
you did a lot of great things. That's why I always ask people, what's their base? What's your base? Like, so for if you are to say that I am better than this person or whatever, what's the base?
Hmm.
And is the base of morale? Is it something that really matters? Now, if we talking about competitive, it's okay. If we on the basketball court, I can say I'm better than you, whatever, who cares? That's a point system and that's a way to determine. But if I get on here and say something about you, Jamie, what's my base? Like what am I really trying to say? Am I really trying to say this to give myself personal boost? Do I
Hmm.
really believe it? Am I trying to convince myself of something? Just all those variables, but it starts stemming back to just try your best to be better than you were yesterday. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, fix yourself.
Yeah. And that's a full-time job.
It's a full time job.
Your hands are full.
Yeah, for real.
You don't
You
have
know,
no space to worry about anything else. So, what are some of the sacrifices that you found challenging? Um, what did you have to sacrifice to kind of get yourself to where you are today?
my ego,
Oh. Hmm.
my ego of public perception. Like when
Oh.
I got to a certain point, like I used to throw shows, so I threw the shows and threw concerts, and I used to make good money. And throughout my life, I've always been that person that had money or whatnot, those shows, things. So when I was going through a point where I knew I had to build without destroying, I knew when I was having these shows, although I didn't do music that was destructive, I gave a stage to people that had messages that I didn't agree with, and I
Mm,
felt like a hypocrite.
mm.
Even when I was giving out turkeys to the communities, I knew my dad was selling dope. It's just all these different things that I was going with, and I had to give up the ego of perception. It's like how I want people to view me versus who I am. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to deal with because I'm like, man, you know what? When you got money, then I got a Rolex and I got, a $15,000 chain and all these different types of things. But when I really be looking at it, I'm like, my dad don't got a tombstone. You get what I'm saying? Like, but I look a certain way.
Yeah.
I got, and when you start looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. So I got Louboutins on, but I don't got life insurance policy. You get what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
it's just all those things I had to check myself on from not only my ego, but the public perception because that carries a certain vibration. When I'm worried about what I look like in the public perception, who am I worried about who I look like too? It might be a certain woman, right? So that's really what we're doing it for as men for the most part is to attract a woman. But you also got to think at the level of vibration you're going to attract. So you can't be mad if you flaunt in finances that you don't really got and you attract a gold digger that don't know how to recognize who don't got money. You get what I'm saying? So it's just all those different things where
Yes.
you operating under a system that's not authentic. So for me, I was operating under a system that wasn't authentic to Cyrus. I
Mhm.
had to figure out a way, or I had to face that ego of public perception on what I wanted people to view me as versus who I was. And so when you ask that question, that is the biggest thing that I had. That was the biggest thing. Cause I'm like, man, you know what? I always had money. Man, if I'm going homeless and giving up everything, man, what are people gonna look? They're gonna look at me like I fell off. And let me tell you this, and I know where it came from. I started looking at it on a deeper level. My dad's dad, my grandpa died in a trucking accident when my father was a child.
Mm.
And when my grandmother received the life insurance money, she pacified him with gifts. So she bought my father fur coats and jewelry and all these things to deal with the loss that his father is gone. So as we got older, that's the way my dad became a dad to us. He would give me us leather coats and all the Jordans and all those things. And anytime he ran into an issue, he would pay his way. Like, let me take y'all to Discovery Zone if we kids, Chuck E. Cheese. If you're a little bit older, let me take you here. We're gonna go putt golfing. Let me take you to the mall. It was always his way of dealing with things. And I remember it clear as day when my stepmother divorced him or whatnot. I remember my dad going to buy a Benz. Now, why did he go buy the Benz? He didn't buy the Benz because he cared about the Benz. He wouldn't bought the Benz because the public perception of what people would think that he fell off because he lost his wife. Ego. You get what I'm saying? So I had to understand that this is what taught me
Yeah.
subconsciously for 20 years. So now when I walk into something, I'm asking myself, why do I need this jewelry? Why do I need this clothes? Do I got it because I like it? Or do I got it because I want you to look at me a certain way? Now, granted, there is some advantages to how you look and things like that for business. And I'm not talking about that. What I'm
Mhm.
talking about is the ego that takes over that you do not want to let go based on public perception and based on you not knowing you. So yeah, that was, I know it's a long answer, but that's
It was perfect and well said and so juicy. I'm gonna post that because it's true. A lot of people get so caught up in that, men and women alike, where it's like, who you're keeping up with and for what, so people can say what about you win, and then you have to look back, like for me, um it wasn't the buying of things, it was doing well. So I was, more addicted. My ego was like, well, I can do this well and I'm gonna do it good and I'm gonna do a good job, and that's what would work for me. But then I had to start thinking, like, do I even like doing this? Or just because I'm good at it, or people think I'm good at it, or they want me to do it, or this and that, is this aligned with who I am and what I like? Does it fit my lifestyle? So I had to start asking those questions. So I think no matter who you are, you gotta check in with that ego, because that you think is a small misalignment, one coat, one car, one job, whatever. I love that kind of thing of when a ship it can go 1 degree in a different direction, and by the end of the trip it will end up in a completely different place than had it stayed the course. And it's like way more important to stay the course, stay in alignment with the truth of who you are, and not let those 1-2 degrees take you off because you are following your ego. You got to know what it looks like, what it sounds like, and how to be honest with yourself, because we're
definitely
trained up differently.
definitely.
Okay, so I think I pretty much hit everything, but the last thing, you're such an amazing man, Cyrus. Are you married yet? Did you get married?
I'm not married yet.
Are you dating? What are you
I
doing?
look forward to being with a woman and raising a family properly. It was a lot of things, and it's not the women's fault that I've encountered. Is was my fault on not knowing who I was, and I realized, all my issues that I had to overcome. I wouldn't have made a great leader. I can say whatever I want. I can let my ego get involved and believe that I would have been something that I wasn't. The reality of it was, it took a lot of years to get to zero. It took a lot of deficits. It took a whole lot of things that I had to understand about myself to even be a solid man for a woman. Prior to then, you just have sex and me acting like we're going to go somewhere that we're not. I'm just going to feed you some words to make you believe that I'm really going to be serious about it. But I know in my heart that I'm not. I'm just gonna drag you along, and you're gonna look up and you be like, dang, I've been dating him for 3 years and ain't nothing changing, because I'm keep on giving you these empty promises and these empty, you know, these things. Because in reality, I'm afraid, because I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, if I walk into this relationship and get serious, I can get hurt. What if she see the real side of me and realize that I ain't who I said I am? So let me keep up this pretend. Let me keep up this guard, and let me keep acting like I ain't. I mean, something that I am, but how you doing? Let me keep acting like I'm something that I'm not, because I can't get exposed if I don't commit all the way. You get what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
I kept sitting in that pocket with women, where it's like, let me sit in this pocket, and then next thing you know, you look up, it be years or something, and she ain't never know the real me, because I ain't know the real me. You get what I mean?
I
So
do.
we're just wasting people's time, but convincing them that I cared more than I really did, when in reality I didn't. So I have to pay for that. You get what I'm saying? I can't
Mhm.
treat women like that or do anybody like that, where I don't know myself, and I'm making them believe something that's not true, that I know is a lie. I'm not just gonna find the woman tomorrow. No, I gotta pay for those injustices that I did to people. And then as I repent, then the right people come along.
Yeah, no, I
I
mean, you
know
said a
that's
mouthful.
mouthful. Ain't nobody gonna just admit what I just said. They're
Yeah,
not gonna admit this.
no, you're right. Cause and you're like, oh, you feel me? I'm like, yeah, because I mean, a lot of women can see that, and it's hard to deal with, and a lot of people do know what's going on and whatever. I guess we deal with it accordingly. But do you think that not having a woman to love and cover you through this journey is enough of pay, the payback, so to speak? Or do you
But
think you need to go through some things?
forgive me for I gotta go back into I'm
No, I
supposed
want you to. Yes, thank you.
to. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
No, I basically, when you're just saying you kind of need to pay for that, I'm wondering, maybe you already have. Is that a possibility with not having a woman by your side through this journey? Like, maybe is that enough?
I don't even know if I can answer that.
Okay.
You- Um, I guess time will tell when you start getting the right people around you and you start growing. I just think energy aligns good people together. So, you know, I can look at it like that. I can't necessarily say I've paid for everything that I've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, how would you know? Well, I love it. You at the Hall of Fame doing your thing, having the big meetings and blessing the people. Wow. Dope.
But yeah, now I'm
Well,
seeing
thank
everything.
you so much for spending time with me, Cyrus. I love that we're connected. I'm going to get up with you. I want to come see your stuff.
All right.
The man got to get back to his things, y'all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I took the time out for
You
you.
did.
It was for
And I
you.
appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. Much love to you on your journey. Go make some woman happy and close those deals. And we'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye, Cyrus. Oh my God, was that so fun or what? Amazing man, amazing journey. He shared so many poignant and quality tips and feedback. Like, are you guys as hyped as I am? That was amazing. Hi, Black Lexicon. Enjoyed your last show I saw. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys all for who tuned into this. If you liked it, please like it. Comment if you felt what Cyrus was talking about. If you felt this discussion, if you understood what he was coming from, or you got your own thoughts, leave a comment. We love looking at that stuff. Share this with a friend if you found value in it, because there was a ton of value in it. King Speak is something that I started actually in 2016. So I know men in therapy is a whole thing now, but in 2016, I started King Speak, and it was a 5-course, it was a meal and a whiskey tasting. So men would get together in real life and talk and kind of do like the bro thing, and I would host and facilitate. So that started in 2016, and then the pandemic hit. It started because me and my girls, I was working for an intuitive life coach and an intuitive healer, and we were doing our women retreats and things like that. And men would inbox me like, when y'all gonna do something for us? I was like, y'all like this? Y'all want to talk? Y'all want to heal? You want to grow? So I created King Speak. And like I said, that was back in 2016, which I can't believe because it's 2023. Like, what? So in 2020, it gave me the opportunity to take everything virtual, and I just interviewed the best men. Even though it was 2020, when I tell you this King Speak series, so many women have found value in listening to these men talk. So many men have found value in the brotherhood and hearing each other speak and knowing that they've all been through the same things, but they're all on this level of self-growth where every day they try to be a little bit better than they were yesterday. And just to see their lives and how they show up and the things they've been able to accomplish and the people they've been able to bless is enormous and it's amazing. And I really think it's worth it to talk to these men and let them talk, let them share their experiences. I've talked to athletes who felt sexualized. I've talked to men about their finances, you know, men about what they had to do when they met their wives to get themselves together. I mean, just all of the stuff from the mind of a man. Not what you're seeing in these podcasts now, where it's like, well, if she don't, everything's a lot of deflection, and we don't need any of that. We need to know who we are as people, adapt, and celebrate each other. So I just wanted to give that. Every Tuesday this month, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be bringing you a Catching Up with the Kings. These are men that I feel are certifiably worthy, day in, day out, in action of the king level title. I don't like to just throw that around. I know what we do these days, but they really are impressive and beautiful inside and out and killing it out here. So tune in every Tuesday, same time, same place, for Catching Up with the Kings, King Speak. And you guys know me, I'll pop in tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in for me and Yatu Marvel, the relationship and dating consultant, as we have our Wednesday show, Black Love Lens. But we're just going to keep shining, thriving, sharing the good stuff, highlighting the people that deserve to be highlighted. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.